Yeah, it's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. That's right. Welcome out, everybody, once again. This is the Remix Morning Show right here on Black Power Media, giving you that boom bap breakfast. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your host for the day. We got Dr. Jared. Burn it down, Kim Brat. Kalanji Jama Chunga. Let's get it.
Tight.
You know what I did it?
Now that's better.
Tight.
As opposed to the cold open from yesterday.
Hey, I had to come and represent after I stepped out yesterday. You know what I mean?
It was definitely
Yes,
cold
indeed.
opening yesterday. We
Yes,
missed you here,
Welcome
Doctor.
back.
Definitely.
Yes,
Saying,
Kim, you're not gonna sing like you were in backstage.
Oh, with Ear Doctor, we were lost without you. So don't ever go away.
that's it.
Who's gonna be my BB to my CC Winans? What's
Man,
going
listen.
on?
I got you a BB.
Kim over here sounded like Hilly Baladay.
Okay, Franklin.
Hey. Woo.
Just in
He
time.
turned his internet back on.
Okay.
Or somebody did. Comcast turned it back on.
I saw the trucks outside. I was like, this is gonna be a long day.
Turn your microphone on, my man.
I was gonna say I don't think they plugged his mic back in, but they did turn his internet back on. So
Wow.
Ear Doctor, that reverb, let me tell you what that reverb, when you hit it, it reminds me of the old go-go PA tapes, like old junkyard band tapes, old Rare Essence tapes, where they would have the reverb, but just way overdo it. and it come across so awesomely overmodulated on the PA tapes, the go-go tapes. So shout out to DMV real quick. But yeah, that shit cranks though, Ear Doctor.
You know what's wild? I was riding around with my daughter yesterday. I was taking her to ballet camp and everything. And we was pumping some reggae. And she was knowing all the songs and tunes and singing along with it. But before I even move on, man, I gotta send some healing vibration out to the brother Master P who lost his daughter.
Oh, man.
So yeah,
wow.
even just connecting with her yesterday was like, man, I feel pain for that brother, but that's what it is. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
horrible. I didn't know
Sorry to
about
hear
that.
that.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes,
but I'll let y'all get
yes.
to it. I'll catch y'all next break.
Thank
Right
you, Ear
on.
Doctor.
Thank you,
Welcome
Ear
back.
Doctor. Welcome back indeed. Good morning, good people. Welcome to all the remixers. And as Ear Doctor is known to say, definitely reach out and tell a friend that we back again.
Can you hear me
This is
now?
Kamal Franklin. Yeah, we can hear you.
Heard you the first time, man.
Just a little more crisp.
You got a little
crisp,
hairstyle,
just a little more crisp.
Hey, man, this ain't no new hairstyles. The same hair. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Same
new
thing.
style. I didn't say you replaced your hair. I said you got a
Okay.
new style
Okay.
going.
You know, add a little bit of flavor for, you know, for folks who don't know.
It looked
Anyway.
nice, Kalanji. Can we see? Did the person who did your hair, did they do something creative on the top? Can you like bend your head down so we can get a glimpse of the artistry?
Hey, we ain't modeling around here. Nah, my cuz, little young cuz hooked it up. Whatnot,
Yeah,
just
come
to
through.
make sure the thing
Yeah,
good.
did the
know.
damn thing. Shot him out. Who was
No
that?
doubt,
Who did that?
no doubt. Little cousin.
Is that him
you know,
calling to get his
name-
shout
name
out?
No names. No, he said him. Chill out. Anyway, shout out to
Was
all
that
of-
her calling? Is that them calling?
Matter of fact, I don't even know who this is, and that ain't me. I think that was Kim. Or is it?
Nah, I ain't got the chirp, bruh.
That's right.
Okay. No, I see what it is.
I retired my two-way pager in
No.
003, my guy.
I just got a call saying that something was missing on the screen. So let me do a little bit of work here while y'all critique my hairstyle.
No, your hair looks tight, man. Anyway,
Here we go right there. Okay, that's what was missing. All right, but anyway,
let's get it.
how y'all feeling today, man? Y'all good?
I'm great. Thank you very much. As good as could be expected, at least, is my usual honest answer to that kind of question.
I overslept this morning. I fell asleep early last night, fell asleep on the couch watching the last part of We Own This City, and I forgot to wash my makeup off, and I woke up late. So this is yesterday's makeup on my face. I'm like, oh my God, I looking kind of crazy, but it's cool. We're gonna flow with it.
Yo, listen, man. Kim, the only person I know that put on makeup to watch a TV show. That's gangster, Kim. I mean, just in case they watching you, watching them, you like, I'm good over here. That's what we do.
Dog, I
do
can't.
this.
I can't be that internet chick, my guy. I can't put on a whole face of makeup and then go stand in the bathroom for 2 hours. Like, no, this is for my show yesterday, Kalanchi.
Listen.
So I was up early this morning, and one of the things I got to do was to shout out to my dog Roberto. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up?
School is out, homie in the building.
I was going to say Kamal, but Kamal was still late, even though you didn't have to take anybody to school. You still showed up at fashionably late.
Well, you know, things happen.
That's Brooklyn.
That's that
Brooklyn.
Takes a little time to get on.
I drop him off in the bedroom.
Right.
Yeah, I tried that. I even locked the door. I think he just picked the lock.
He just picked the lock.
Yeah. My man.
It was like when I was in that debate the other day. Thought I was muting old boy. He just kept unmuting himself. He was like, "You can't mute me. I'm
stopped.
unmutable.
Can't be stopped."
Welcome, afraid not. That's a dope name, by the way. That's a nicely punned up name.
Isn't
yes,
it?
indeed.
JJ
Jones just became a member.
I know that's whack. That's late. Shame.
It's hard out here,
shame.
Man. Hey, he's working so hard behind the scene, he forgot. You know what I mean? So he good now.
But speaking behind the scenes, though, I do want to shout out. Like I was up early this morning watching the latest Brokish edition of Brokish, with sisters Erica and Amber. Erica, shout out to her for putting the stories together for the remix as well. And they did a fascinating. First of all, they're very self-revealing. They tell a lot about their own personal stories, which I think is important and powerful, but sometimes I admit makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, that's a lot. I don't think I could share. They share, but it's very helpful because they were having a discussion about first of all, belated happy birthday to Erica. I got my notes on this.
Happy belated birthday, Erica.
Happy belated birthday to one half of Brokish.
Gemini.
And shout out to Amber. I hope she found her missing box of wine. That was apparently an important part of the episode. Finding that missing
her box of wine was missing.
She apparently misplaced a box of wine.
This is horrible.
It's like
this is horrible.
Could you imagine? But they went into it.
I know how that go, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, please.
On Black Power Media, better be tipsy. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Think we doing around here? How you?
But I can't imagine. It's been a minute since I misplaced like a bottle of Nearest or something. Like that would be painful. That would just be brutal. But
I mean, you got to be some kind of high or drunk to misplace a bottle of wine. I'm confused about that one. You know what I'm saying? Certain things you don't misplace.
Maybe I don't know. The misplacing could be intentional because anyway, I've lived with alcoholics that I have hid their liquor. Y'all never did that? You never lived with someone who drank too much and you just go hide their bottles and be like, where did I put my bottle? I don't know.
Jared looking like he was him.
I was trying to think like maybe that's what was
like. Who hid my liquor?
Yeah, like my joint's been evaporating. The whole bottle just evaporate with the bottle and everything. I bought like 8 bottles and it ain't happening. Yeah. It's horrible, Jared.
I'm trying to think where was I on that ledger there? Just real quick. They got into like some important stuff about the history. They got into the impact of the decision about Roe v. Wade on Black women specifically. And one of the gems that I'll just leave out there as a teaser that I did honestly have not known anything about is the connection that they talk about between because I was arguing before that abortion, gay rights, other issues, as legit as they are independently, have often been used by conservatives as just to divide populations without any real concern about that particular issue on their part. And they talk about, and it is the Sisters on Brokish, the shift in the post 1920s of society moving to take an anti-abortion position as feminism rose, as women's rights came to the fore. The country shifted because they talk about there was even for most of the history of this country, apparently churches were not anti-abortion. Even churches were not anti-abortion. So society has at least not entirely and certainly not against, in situations, in instances of rape and incest. But so I just thought it was a fascinating discussion with some personal gems dropped in there, some interesting commentary on the importance of wigs and the afterlife, all kinds of stuff that was gems in the latest edition of Brokish that I was watching early this morning. So shout out to them, and thanks again to Erica for helping with the remix stories in the background.
I love Brokish because it adds a different element to what we're doing, and I'm always in search of shows on Black Power Media that expands our range and whatnot, because we really need to hit all angles. That's just how I feel. That, and my personal goal is to be able to service the Black community on all levels. You know what I mean? Something for everybody. But speaking of abortion, one of the stories we're going to cover today is about the contradictions and how this pig shot this pregnant woman 5 times. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about how, how they want to control everything but life. I mean, they want to control life, but at the same time, they don't care about life when it's Black life. So we'll definitely touch upon that.
You know what her problem was? Before we even get to the story, I don't even need to know the details. Clearly, this woman's problem was that she was not shooting children in a school, which clearly prevents police officers from activating. So she must have just been doing something, that made it easier for them to get busy and shoot at her. So I apparently the moral of the story is, dot. But I mean,
they don't care. Yeah. But it's crazy how, I'm saying, they move, their contradictions have contradictions. I want to, real quick,
just real quick, man. Even like how many of us, even me, have experienced suffering the tough talk of cops while they have you handcuffed in the back of a car or surrounded by dozens of them. Just listening to all that, and then they're gonna stand out there while somebody shoot. Anyway, my bad, not to take us back to yesterday, but I was just like, really? Anyway, go ahead.
It be on some sucker shit, but that's just them. Or when they try to whoop your ass and charge you with assault and battery on them. So I learned early to make sure that my blocks match their blows, and that my blocks become blows. Shout out to Balagoon. Every strike is a block, and every block is a strike. Today we want to definitely remember Betty Shabazz. Today's the anniversary of the day, or the commemoration of the day that fire started, in which she ended up transitioning 22 days later. Of course, it was said that her 10-year-old grandson Malcolm Shabazz had set this fire. Different reports, different accounts, or whatever, playing with matches, whatever the case was. So we want to definitely remember Betty Shabazz, because I think that she's one of those sheroes that are often overlooked. We often talk about, the brothers in the movement, and then the sisters oftentimes are written off as the wife of, as if they had no significance. And Betty Shabazz is one of those examples of women who put that work in. So definitely shout out to her. As we remember her.
Wasn't her birthday this week also, Kalanji? I think she just celebrated a birthday, I want to say, within the past week and some change. I think her birthday was recently. Yeah.
That's horrible if I forgot, the birthday, but I remember that particular date.
Sir, you do remember a lot of things out here, Kalanji. I think you get a pass.
You're right. Her birthday was actually a few days ago, May 28th, matter of fact.
Yeah. I had
you are correct. Yeah. You are correct. Her and Malcolm celebrated their born dates in the same month, May 19th, May 28th. Right on. Okay, no doubt. Yeah. So definitely remember Betty. What else is popping? The ear doctor's here today. Y'all looking all
ear doctor's ready to come on back. Let's bring him back on, and then we can move on to some map slapping.
Yo, I was thinking when I was 18 or 19, the cops pulled me over in Jonesboro, and they pretty much, I had locks and everything, and they strip searched me and was like, "Where's the drugs? Where's the drugs?" And I was just thinking, I was like, man, my son's 17, he got locks. And I was like, damn, soon he gonna be on these streets driving, and they gonna look at him just to be like, oh, he probably got drugs. Let me pull him over.
Man, they
So that's a conversation that we gotta have with our kids that want to wear natural hair, like have locks and stuff like that. You're looked at it a certain way, like you revolting, going against the system, or you do sell drugs or something like that. It's wild, but it's a conversation.
I don't think it's hair. I don't think it's hair at all. I think it's the melanin, the hue of the skin. You know what I'm saying? You can be bald headed. You can have an afro, a jerry curl. You know what I'm saying? Pigtails, as Rick James would say. And
hey,
you know,
Tim Scott coon ass complained about how often he gets pulled over by the cops, and he's a giant coon, so it doesn't matter. Just black is enough.
I mean, the lock is I'm just saying, it's definitely a sign where you think somebody got weed or something, or drugs, and especially when it was the 90s when I was growing up, everybody ain't had locks like they had now. But let's go ahead and get to a break real quick right here on the Remix Morning Show, y'all. All right.
Yay, ear doctor.
We're over here snuggling.
Remix Morning Show. Black Power Media.
All right. What's good, everybody? Welcome out once again to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and I'm glad y'all tuned into the Boom Bap Breakfast right here to get some of that. We got it. All right, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Go to the notification bell and hit that so you can know when dope shows are going to be dropping. Also, go to patreon.com and drop some change in the bucket for Black Power Media. And unshameless plug right here, I must say, is make sure y'all going and cop some of that new merch over there at blackpowermedia.org, because you got a lot of dope new stuff there. So go check that out too while y'all at it. All right. So with that said, let me go ahead and give y'all the weather report. I know y'all been wondering how it is outside. Right now in the ATL, it's going to be like 90-something degrees today. So the pools are open, so you can expect to see a lot of people out and about. But let's start off with beaches, because I know a lot of y'all ready to hit these beaches and get in the sand. First, let's start off with Myrtle Beach. That's right, Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. They got a high today of 85 degrees. Next, let's go to Atlantic City, New Jersey. That's right, it ain't the best looking beach, but it's a beach. They got a high today of 66 degrees. Big up the Minister Server from AC, you know what it is. Let's take it over to Venice Beach in California. They got a high today of 73 degrees. Next, let's take it over to Galveston, Texas. I believe that's over where we got our Brokish crew at. They got a high today of 68 degrees. And next, let's take it down to St. Croix Island, where they got a high today of 85 degrees. And next, let's take it to a fly spot. Let's go all the way over to the motherland, and let's go to Casablanca, Morocco. They got a high today of 77 degrees. And now let's take it to Tierra del Fuego, Argentina, where they have a high today of 36. Now that's cold. Colder than the white man. But I'll tell you what else is cold. This beef between DL Hughley and Monique. Y'all want to talk about it? Me neither. So let's go ahead and get right back to the Remix Morning host, and let's get with some real news. All right, let's do it right about here, right now. Yeah. All right.
You can't do that to me, though. I'm a gossip at heart. You can't tell me that there's some gossip out there. They don't tell me nothing about what the gossip is about.
I mean, it ain't doing nothing for our growth, man. I'm just like, man,
no, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. It's not. But I still want to hear what the gossip is about.
This is Black Power Media. We don't do that.
I actually have been paying a little bit of attention to that. And I actually think there's a political relevance.
Okay.
Because as I looked at one of the stories from last night, the surface level issue is that agreements were made as to who would headline, and then there were apparently differences as to how it played out. And DL was like, I was supposed to go last, and Monique was like, I was supposed to go last. I'm the headliner, and then they just took it very public and were exposing not fully signed contracts, but agreements, whatever. But to me, the issue is that I think the promoters who played each off of the other have largely instigated or created the context where these two, I think, have mistakenly gone at each other very publicly when they a very simple conversation probably should have, just handled it. But for our relevance, I think this is part of the problem. There's too much mediation in our conversation with ignoble actors creating confusion and distress. And I think this is a very celebrity version of that. Like, how hard is it to get it straight, to work out we would talk about before the show. So you gonna host, you gonna quarterback, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this is how it's gonna work, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just
from what I did see,
I think, especially since neither should be headlining. I mean, the agreement should have been, could we get a real headliner to come in here? That should have been an agreement.
Well, Monique said you were the opening act on the Kings of Comedy, and I was the headliner on the Queens of Comedy. So that should have shut it all down right there. Yeah.
But anyway, points were made on both sides.
Thank you, Sith Lord.
It's just messy. Don't take that stuff to social media, man. It's just messy, man. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's all the way around. I think that's something that's done throughout, especially Black culture right now. Everything that's like the new Brave and shit. Like, let's just bug out online and shit, and then we ain't gonna do shit in person, but let's wild out online, and then everything's woo back and forth. I think they're both whack. But I would say that Monique with a headline. I totally despise DL Hughley. I think he's a piece of shit personally. You know what I'm saying? Monique's not too far away. And the reason why I'm saying the Monique thing, as I mentioned in the past, because when they was talking about the whole blood diamond situation, she was talking about how she was going to wear her diamonds. You know what I mean? So,
wow.
And thought that was a joke. So I don't, and DL Hughley, I hear that he has a special needs son, but he's always referencing the short bus and all that. I don't think that's cool personally. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So, and he's totally not funny. I mean, it's like if I was going to have a Twitter beef with someone or a comedy situation, a blast off, it would be him. I would love to roast his ass because he is totally not funny. And anybody that think he's funny, man, you gotta. I mean, it's not hard to make you laugh, I guess.
Now, I would like to see that. I would like to see Kalonji roasting DL Hughley, because truth of the matter is comedians are attention whores. That all of this, as much attention, drama, all comedians are for all of those things. We can see how comedians have been behaving recently, all the shit posting and thus things that they do just to be talked about. So I don't know, but DL Hughley, I don't know. Like, I have a particular animus for comedians who are all of a sudden syndicated radio personalities, right? And offering whatever sort of critique and analysis that they do from a very respectability centered position. So thumbs down.
Well, I'll let y'all go ahead and get to it. I'll catch you on that break.
Was that hard?
What you mean?
Oh, I was trying to give you a doctor a shot. I was like, you talked about a little gossip, and Jared made it political.
That is honestly how I look at it, or maybe that's how I justify my own attention to the subject. That's one or the other. One or the other.
It's important for the community.
It's important for the community that I watch this bullshit. Anyway, all right. Well, let's move on.
I really like a boxing match between him and Roland Martin.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like to fight both of them. Yeah. I like to fight.
I was watching Roland Martin the other day, and be careful, Kalonji. That low center of gravity. I'm telling you.
What my man say?
Gravity.
What my man say? Sucker think he can whoop me. Hey, boy.
Hey, he talks a lot of shit.
Exactly.
He talks a lot of shit. So, you gotta be careful. No, I'm just trying to hype it up. I'm trying to say you up.
Listen, man.
I think the word you're looking for there is instigate.
Instigate. You gonna let him step on your shoes like that, Kalonji?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
knock this off my shoulder.
Talk about your moms. What's going on with that?
Listen, man. I wouldn't even worry about that. You? No, I'm not violent. You know what I'm saying? I got folks in the chat telling me I'm violent. I'm not violent. No, this is fun. This is all fun. I said box. So you know what I'm saying? We talking gloves, all that. Oh. I ain't say I was gonna kick his ass or nothing like that.
No, that's not how I interpret box, my guy.
Oh, yeah. Box me neither. But for the sake of the screen, stop snitching.
I think Roland Martin might come see you.
Knuckles. That's what I
think. He might come see me.
I think he might come see you, man.
What are you gonna come see me and do?
I don't know. He be wearing them fly dashikis.
Tell me he like your cummerbund.
Oh man.
I mean, they don't wear cummerbund. He's wearing ascots, right? My bad.
Ascot. And I think you can order. You can. I think he sells them, right? I think he has the Roland Martin ascot.
He did.
Yeah. I might have to get one of them.
So one more thing before we slap
and stick it in the top of my T-shirt.
One more thing before we slap the map. So the Baltimore series, because I know that's not real news either. So I'm saying.
Okay.
So y'all seen the final? Everybody saw the final?
I have. Yep.
Right. The final impressions. Did y'all like? You didn't like the what is it? The Attorney General who she was like, I'm retiring from this shit. She's like, I see it for the slave ship that it is. That kind of thing.
Well, my 2 cents yesterday, that's sort of what I was saying yesterday, that was I think the one, and then there's the one where she's talking to Treat Williams.
Speechifies for like 5 minutes. Yeah.
That's the David Simon Liberal Award speech. That's the one I was saying. When I was watching it, it was like when I felt like when I would be arguing back in the day with Michael Eric Dyson, and I would feel like I was caught up in his verbal whirlwind. I was like, as I was watching that speech, I was like, oh, this is the whirlwind. This is the speech. This is it. This is stirring up the masses and moving the audience. This is what's going to make everybody walk away from the series thinking that David Simon did something progressive and thoughtful.
But you got to make a comeback on that Michael Eric Dyson thing, though, man. It's got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to get with him. That's got to be on the undercard. You versus Michael Eric Dyson, me against Roland Martin, and Kamal versus Sean.
Are you back with this?
How did we get back to the boxing?
I'm working on my promotions.
No,
anyway,
I'm not. There's never that, and he got a low center of gravity too. When he walked up on me at the Real News Network, and I didn't even realize that I was like, I had to, you know, and he was all like, "Why you don't like me, man? Why you don't like me, man?" And I was like, man, you know. Anyway,
but we bugging y'all. I'm just talking.
Yeah, no, never that, man. I you know. I respect the good doctor's ability to go out here and produce work I cannot stand, and to apparently get away with being not questioned for having all these women from Georgetown to Vanderbilt accuse him of some sort of misconduct. Somehow he's been able to sidestep all of that. So I died, you know.
Well, the tea is served this morning. Remixes.
I'm just saying, this is a couple years old. The sisters of Georgetown called him out, and then apparently something went on down at Vanderbilt. You know, and apparently he's able to walk between the raindrops out here. I don't know. So
no, I wasn't at Real News. That was Jared. Somebody asked, was I at Real News? Nah.
Oh no, that was me back in the day. We had the worst. My worst. It has to be my worst public performance, so to speak. When and I don't think they never aired it. They thought it was so bad that it never even aired. It was me and Glenn Ford versus Dyson and what's his name? James, not Jason Johnson, but
Jeff Johnson.
No, not him either. But another popular scholar who was at UPenn, who at Penn. He was in Pennsylvania. Used to be very popular hip hop scholar, and then he had
Mark
his own
Lamont Hill?
Me Too moment. No. He had this brother had his own Me Too moment.
Kim naming anybody right now.
Disappeared.
Free?
Like name a black scholar.
Peterson, James Peterson.
Jesse Peterson, Reverend Jesse Peterson.
No. But he and Dyson were boys, and me and Glenn was sick, and he was a little bit off his game that day. I just got angry. And you know, it was just
you got angry. Well, I never.
But it was, but bad though. Like it took me off my game. It was not good. I was not good. It was.
You were happy that they didn't hear it. You were not that mad.
More. I mean, yeah, probably. But but I mean, I just would
Dyson doing a song and dance. He was doing his rhyming. Was he rhyming?
Oh, it was horrible. It was all basically. It was after he had written that "Why We Have to Vote for Hillary" argument, and so my point. I was just trying to make the point that this is what you do to reposition yourself for Democratic leadership, so that you can always stay on TV. And he was, he did the whole song and dance. I'm in the streets. I'm in the churches. Black people love me. I mean, and it was working.
On BPM or what? Should we get him on BPM and we can avenge?
I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. If anything, though, if he wants to come on and respond to the allegations, or if the sisters want to come on and talk about them, I would happily invite that. But
no doubt.
Very valid, very valid. Right. And let me rescind something I said. I don't mean to characterize sexual misconduct allegations as tea. It's definitely not tea.
Oh.
And you inadvertently, Jared, I mean, you raise a very interesting point. Depending on whom the person is, if there are allegations of misconduct or harassment, certain folks will get moved around and promoted and still given opportunities regardless, until the chorus of accusers or evidence just becomes too loud to ignore. So I think we're seeing potentially in real time how certain folks get protected regardless of their behavior or their conduct. So
I'm going to say one more thing about this, because I think you're right, Kim, but there's one other of many attended issues here that I know that, well, I understand Dyson himself has benefited from. It's that women in the academy who suffer certain inappropriate behaviors are unwilling to call him and others like him out because of the status they hold in academia.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons I think they're able to do that is that not only their status in terms of the mainstream, but within the academic world, some are more interested in having that person still write them a letter of recommendation than call them out and risk, being seen as, a problem. And it's terrible. It's a terrible situation. And I don't blame the women who make those choices necessarily, by the way. I'm just saying that I think that's part of how he and others get away with it. But, anyway.
Now we can slap the map.
Now we can slap the map. Yeah, I saw one of the comments. I saw one of the comments asking about that Dyson said. He said in the debate I had with him and John McWhorter actually said, I'll never forget this. He said, "I don't understand, Dr. Ball. My wife likes me, or my fiance at the time likes me. I don't know what." It's just like anyway. So I'm sorry. So who want to get us started this morning with something more meaningful and substantive or relevant in terms of the news of the day?
I think I want to hop on.
Sure.
I want to hop on real quick because I saw this article about some of your favorite rappers supporting a billionaire Republican. And I was just like, man, I mean,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, a billionaire Republican who actually is supported, who is backed by the LAPD police association. You know what I'm saying? This is a cat who came out with a song 187 on the undercover cop. That's what he's talking about back then. I'm trying to, my screen is jacked.
Did you just freeze?
Can you all see what I put up? Am I froze?
Yeah, but you might be freezing a little bit. Maybe quickly send a link to Send the link to Jared.
Is this on the run sheet?
It's on the run sheet. I'm gonna go ahead and reboot because I feel like I'm freezing. So my apologies. You all
The
can
middle of your story,
if you don't mind handling.
Oh, okay. I see. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
If y'all hear
I got
me,
you.
it's all good. Though.
Well, I can see that.
Okay.
And I think,
yeah.
I don't know honestly where we are, but yeah, go ahead.
Snoop Dogg,
Okay.
Kim Kardashian, and Watts activists back LAPD union back mayor. That's an awful written headline.
You're right.
It's a
Journalism
terrible.
101, boys and girls.
I mean, activists back, LAPD union backed. Really, how much backs we gonna back it on up in this headline? I see. Come on, do better. Who wrote that? What publication is this?
so something.
Go
down and read the rest of the story.
Hold on a second. Let me.
Is everybody freezing? What is happening?
Let me just. Yeah, I got it here. Let's see if this will make it easier. And of course, I got the pop up there.
I was going to say that's not
don't allow. That's not the story.
Oh,
all right. Snoop Dogg, Kim Kardashian, Watts activists back LAPD union backed billionaire Republican over Karen Bass for LA mayor. Yeah, that's a struggle for a headline.
That is an awfully written. What publication is this, Jared? Just so we can rinse them real quick.
Moguldom Nation.
Yes, rinse them.
I thought weren't they supposed to be doing a story about BPM at some point? What happened to that? Anyway, written by Ann Brown, May 30th, 2022. Progressive Democrat Karen Bass is in a tight race. By the way, just in terms of journalism education, that headline may not have actually been written by the journalist here, Ann Brown. So we can't necessarily blame her. By the way, that could have been an editor's choice. Anyway,
drag the editors at Moguldom.
Drag the editors.
Either way, that was the editor's responsibility.
There you go. They should have caught that and stopped that right there.
Totally. Drag them editors. Nah, that's a no good headline.
Progressive Democrat Karen Bass is in a tight race for mayor of LA and will be the first woman to hold the position if she wins on November 8th. But she's in a tough race with billionaire Republican Rick Caruso, who recently landed the endorsement of hip-hop mogul Snoop Dogg and reality TV star Kim Kardashian. Caruso is also getting support from Watts community activist Sweet Alice Harris, the 88-year-old founder of Parents of Watts, a charitable committee that aids disadvantaged and underserved people in the Watts community. Snoop's endorsement of Caruso came after Harris backed him. The real estate magnate is said to have an estimated net worth of $4 billion. Look at what he stands for. Look at what he's about, Snoop said in the video posted on social media. This is what a mayor's got to be about. You can't be about talking about it. You got to be about it. It's no question I endorse the real, and that is Rick.
What is the
wow.
it? What is the about it?
$4 billion. That's
what I was there. It's $4 billion.
It's got to be about
what he stands for.
I'm sure Miss what's her name? Miss Sweetness in the Watts community got a little something.
Here it is. He can offer a better path, a better life for people that are homeless.
Yeah, he can do that right now, and while whipping out his checkbook, he doesn't need to hold elected office to do that. I'm confused here. So Caruso is the Republican, or he is a Democratic in the primary? Okay,
no, he's the Republican.
He's the Republican. Okay. Oh God.
Ooh, he has deep ties to the LAPD.
That wonderful. Helpful. So does Karen Bass. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how deeply her ties are to LAPD, but I think to characterize Karen Bass as a progressive is very generous. I think that is a very generous characterization of
and that sliding scale of the lesser of two evils.
She might be a Jim Clyburn progressive.
It's Magic Johnson versus Snoop, because she's got Magic, the former social worker, who is getting blasted by law enforcement. She did land the endorsement of LA basketball legend Magic Johnson. Okay, well, hey, listen, when I want to know which way to win, I was going to say, well, when I want to know which way to go politically, I go, I go to Kim Kardashian and Snoop's Twitter feed. It's just like, when I need to know what to do, No, hey, listen, I have, somewhat sarcastically made the point for a long time that people like Snoop, the only purpose for the elevation and maintenance of their celebrity is for these political positions. So he can come out and speak out against Colin Kaepernick. So he can come out and endorse a product. So he can come out and make the more conservative political, that's the function, I think, of celebrity, regardless of what we think of the talent of the celebrity. And here we go again. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't expect much out of them anyway, but it's just slightly disappointing. You know what I mean? I mean, Kim Kardashian, no, but for like Snoop, you're like, B, you talk about all that trash about where you grew up. You talk a little bit about what the cops have done to you. So it's always slightly disappointing. But again, next week, right, they'll stand with the family of a police brutality victim. They'll whatever which way the headwinds are blowing, but they're not going to never turn their back on somebody with $4 billion. So I just know that dude has talked to Snoop on the back end and promised some resources, commercials, some investments. And that's what he thinks is good community work. So, yeah.
And Snoop knows firsthand. I mean, lest we not forget, Snoop was charged with whole ass murder out here, y'all. Murder was the case that they gave Snoop. And he beat the charge. So if we're going to assume from that outcome that he was innocent, then he was wrongly targeted and charged with the murder. So he knows firsthand how LAPD gets down and how law enforcement in California get down. And to support a candidate that is pro-police or has deep ties to the LAPD, I mean, can we qualify Snoop as a class traitor now? Is it over?
Class traitor, race traitor. But Snoop bounces back. That's the thing about Snoop, though, because he's such the, his whole background is such the urban legend cat who, is a street dude. He's always got that play. I mean, the dude just shows it Martha Stewart, right? And still he's called upon to be like some authentic representation of hood life. So yeah, Snoop gonna have to do something. This is really whack, but something that's publicly real whack to be like called out or be like put to the side. He's got that urban legend thing, and he got them hits. So anybody,
and he smokes weed. Everybody, and he smokes.
So it's got to be for the community.
How could you be mad at somebody who smokes weed? So Anyway,
my position.
That's right. It's just basic. But somewhat similar is again this. Oh man, these pop-ups, boy, they. I hear you. Oh my goodness, they took me away. Where I thought this story might be some similar kind of a similar overlap of pop culture, celebrity, and news. Where often we might find the Snoops of the world and other celebrities brought in to help pave things over. But the NFL now requires teams to interview a minority candidate for quarterback coach vacancies. I thought this was already an old
Rooney
mandate
rule.
With the Rooney rule, right? But apparently, yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the headline because that A is doing a lot of work to interview a minority candidate. Is that, right. Singular, like you only have to interview one, or
that's it, and that's why he's got the number one right there. He's like, that's it, just one, just one interview.
Problem solved again.
Only one of the donkeys are required.
These problems left and right.
Just one.
So there has been a change to the Rooney rule. Which is slated to give minority and female coaches opportunities not usually afforded them in the league.
There you go.
Spring league.
Come through, white women. Come through.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's it.
Claim your position as the affirmative action hire. Well, we hired Becky. So what's the problem? Becky's the quarterback coach. Why are you donkeys complaining? We interviewed Lavelle. But Becky was more qualified. Jesus Christ.
What else must we do?
Right, because this is partially in response to the lawsuit from Brian Flores last year accusing the NFL of discrimination. So that's right. That makes sense. Yep. Sorry for our racism. So we're gonna hire a white woman.
There's gonna be so many the first womans, and they're all gonna be white. The first woman positions coach, the first woman quarterback. Like you're gonna see so many of the first womans. Every single one of them is gonna be white. It's gonna be so fucking crazy, yo.
But it does say here. Sorry, go ahead.
Or to be a black woman married to someone white, because I mean that's the new trend right now.
Hey, simmer down.
Especially with Biden. I'm just saying, let's keep it funky.
Who did I just see with that? Where Umar Johnson was going at, what's his name? The former football player and host on ESPN, Shannon Sharp, for his white wife or white girlfriends.
Shannon Sharp? I thought he was dating Eddie Murphy's ex-wife.
No, he just was openly lusting for Eddie Murphy's wife in a very inappropriate way. But
wow!
But I think his actual partner is a white woman.
What?
Yeah. And Umar was what was he saying? What does he call it? Snow bunnies? That's an old phrase, but I think he was.
Umar, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Umar's like the DL Hughley of you know what I'm saying? He's another overrated character out in these streets. But anyway, that's just me though.
Don't talk about King Kong consciousness like that, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm tripping, man. What's wrong with you, man?
That is a fly phrase. I got to give him that. I like that phrase. King Kong consciousness. I do like that.
King Kong corniness. Get out of here with that bullshit, man.
And he loves black women so much, he married 2 of them. Talking about this
polygamy. It's crazy, man. It's like our people are literally out here dying, and we got these characters trying to, you know what I'm saying, want to play the role of the superheroes and all that. Come on, man. Knock it off.
First of all, I bet you Umar got him a little snow bunny somewhere in the cut. I'm not fooled. It's always the one. Oh, look at this brother with this white woman, nigga. I don't believe you, shorty. I'm sorry. You need way more
milk
people.
Of magnesia.
Right. He be dipping off to Tacoma, Washington.
Call me master.
Right.
He like what was that show? I'm gonna get you, sucker. With the with the whole.
No, that's what I was saying. It was. I thought it was. Don't drink your juice while whatever in the hood.
Probably could have been all.
It was that parody.
Well, that's. Not because the other problem is that
y'all need to leave the man.
Hollywood though then overdoes it and gives all the organizers the bad name. But they can only do it because there's enough folks with the bad name.
But the thing that's crazy is they're not even organizers. It's like what Robin Harris had this skit where he was talking about the piccolo player in the church, and the preacher said, "Who called my piccolo player a motherfucker?" And Robin Harris was like, "I ain't call him a motherfucker, but I want to know who called that motherfucker a piccolo player." You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about these cats is parading around as organizers. It's like they're only giving organizers a bad name for folks who are confused what organizing is about. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the outcome of this story, Jared? I'm sorry.
You know what?
Nothing.
I don't nothing. It was just you gotta interview a black man or a white woman.
The NFL will be sued again because there's gonna be a small probably uptick in hiring for the next 1 year or two. And then they're going to forget all about their rules and be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? I'm not hiring them." And then it's going to be the same situation in 3 years, and then another 3 years, and another 3 years. So the outcome is going to be as usual, nothing.
So along the lines, staying in this NFL vein, I saw that there was some news about Kaepernick. Did he have a tryout with the Vegas Raiders? Is that where the Raiders are now in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I just saw his new Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
How old is he now, Kaepernick?
I don't know. He still appears to be in very good shape, though, Kamal. So
maybe not NFL shape. I'm not trying to dust nobody's dream no more, but I'm just saying, you know what? Those cats have knocked you out the box. You should have went to the CFL if you wanted to get that work in, that NFL, that quarterback status in. But
well, at one point, I remember he was taking a stance against that very point. If I remember correctly, he was saying, "I don't want to have to go to another league." That was part of the. I thought that if I remember correctly,
you might be right, but ultimately he ain't playing because them crackers got that league sold up, and they already hit him off with some dough, and they're proving a point about who's in charge. So again, all the speculation about and partly I don't know if he helps drive it or if the NFL who's driving it exclusively to make it sound like, oh, we're giving this dude a chance, but it's literally been like what 5-6 years or something outside the league at this stage.
Yeah,
I mean, but what's worse than Cap in that situation is the people themselves, because everybody was yelling boycott the NFL and shit, and then when a clothing deal here and there came about, then everybody was cool. They was back to it. Snoop and Dre gonna be performing at the Super Bowl, or Jay-Z is gonna be heading up the entertainment portion. So it's like, I mean, come on, man, this shit. I mean, at this point, really, who cares? If you do get the job, great. If you don't, I mean, shit, you're not broke, you're not suffering, and you're more popular at this particular point than you were playing football.
Yeah, well, to me, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I'm just trying to figure out. Obviously he has a love of the game, but why do teams even bother having him come try out? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't do anything for the team. It doesn't boost or diminish the team in any
probably
way.
Mandated. I'm thinking that the league office has probably got something to do with, like, at least give this dude a tryout or something along those lines. But at least give him a tryout, but do not hire him, right? Like, do not take him on the team. There's no way that this is still not a total lockout of him being able to play football, right? I mean, this is again 5-6 years or whatever, maybe a little bit longer than that. So this is definitely a way of them allowing some particular media that says he's getting a tryout, but for whatever reason, because it's just too obvious considering who else is in the league, who else gets chances, the stats compared to what his stats were. So this is, they've just told him, use for whatever it's worth, whatever line that they had that they didn't want crossed, he crossed it. And similar to what Kalaji is saying, the NFL players did not back him up. The NFL players did not say, you know what, no Cap, no us, right? It wasn't like there was a response of like, if a brother cannot play this game because he stood up in his own way, right, by protesting police murders, so the rest of us are going to say, you know what, that's called a union action, and that's called an action or something like that. That did not happen. So that's why they can continue to do this and get away with it in a lot of ways.
The only thing I would think holding it up, it would be the sponsors, which is what caused the problem in the first place. If the sponsors didn't have a problem with him coming back, I would think him being allowed to return would be sort of a brilliant anti-movement play on their part. It would be the perfect cap, on pun intended, on the bottle of what struggle could look like. I mean,
that's true. That's true. Yeah,
it's the it's a microcosm of the macrocosm. I mean, like you're saying, it's like, it's what goes on in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Let's give these Negroes some concessions and keep them quiet. You know what I'm saying? Keep them at bay. And on the flip side, like you said, you said the team didn't, the players didn't back them. Shit, that's like someone standing up out here against capitalism or imperialism. You know what I'm saying? The other cap, pun intended. And folks, looking the other way. I back you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I like what you're doing, but they're not going to stand with you. So the thing is, it's the same playbook that's used all across, from sports to entertainment to warfare, to whatever it is. Anytime you have Africans or anyone that takes a particular position, then who's going to stand with them? I mean, let's keep it real. Imagine if folks stood with us. The changes that would be made.
Well, one
No,
player
it's-
actually did stand with Colin Kaepernick, and that's Eric Reed. Eric Reed took the knee at the same time or shortly thereafter as Colin did. But everybody talks about Colin. Nobody talks about Eric Reed not being able to get a job and get hired. And Eric Reed's last season, Eric Reed was out here putting up numbers. Like Eric Reed was definitely one of the top players in his position, and because of the stand that he took, he still also is jobless. But nobody mentions Eric Reed. Nobody talks about what Eric Reed endured. So one brother did stand with them, Kalanji. One did, and he has also.
And nobody talks about him either. Yeah.
Right. But again, that goes back to, you know what I'm saying, individualism. You know what I'm saying? We need a collective approach to against tyranny and oppression. It can't be just I got Jared on my side, or you know what I'm saying? I mean that's cool, but you know, how far are we gonna go with that shit?
Far.
So
shout out to him though.
Shout out, yeah, no, but no, I know you're right. I mean, ultimately, I think that's why after the criticism of individual behavior has to be the recognition that we can't just send individuals out here to fight the fight. They're not going to. But when we see Kaepernick and Jay-Z's next video, that'll be the perfect conclusion to all of this. As is the ear doctor showing up a perfect conclusion to this segment. So let's bring him back up here on stage.
Carnegie Hall.
Bloskers,
we giving out bloskers. We giving out bloskers, but reports are saying, you know, the Kaepernick most likely will sign with the Vegas Raiders or the Seattle Seahawks. The thing is, his jersey sales going to be ridiculous.
Yes, they are.
He'll get back in the league, the thing is, what happens again when it's time for the Star Spangled Banner? I mean, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying?
He's stay in the locker room, I guess. I don't think he's going to stand for it. I just don't think he's just going to be visible while the anthem is playing.
That makes the most sense.
But I do think you guys are right. I think that's probably going to be a move. Like, you know, he's like 35, 36 years old. He'll do a ceremonial season, make a few $1 million. That sounds about right.
I mean, you got to think about it. Most quarterbacks don't get a break to heal their body and actually take time to precision their passes like he's been doing over these years. So
he's 34 now.
Actually, they say he's looking pretty good.
I think he's got an advantage, actually, because his body doesn't have all that wear and tear over the past few years. I think he's going to come out very fresh.
When that 23-year-old start chasing that 34-year-old around, that body ain't going to last long.
Hey,
word.
You just need to get on that Tom Brady plan. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, or that LeBron James, that ice chamber they in. But let's go ahead and get to the next break right here on the Remix Morning Show, y'all.
Black Power Media.
All right. Welcome out as we are here once again at this luxurious gala to give out a Blosker. Who do I want to talk about today? Who deserves a Blosker? I'm gonna take y'all back. You know, I love Westerns. So with that said, I had to go back in the day and pull up the brother who goes by the name of Cleavon Little. That's right. Or should we say Cleavon Jake Little. Born June 1st, 1939. Made his transition in 1992. He was a stage, film, and television actor. He began his career in the late 1960s, and in 1970s, he did Broadway productions like Pearly. He got a Tony Award, Drama Desk Award, and he also was on ABC sitcoms like Temperatures Rising, but he is best known for being in the 1974 movie directed by Mel Brooks, which was Blazing Saddles. Now, funny thing about that movie right there is it was actually supposed to be Richard Pryor playing that role, but they were worried about Richard Pryor's drug habits and said, we need somebody more reliable. And thus, your boy Cleavon came and said, I'll take that. So as you can see right now, he's born in Oklahoma. His sister actually is the one that sang on that Rocky song, Gonna Fly Now, bam, 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 that theme to Rocky song. So they already had a little bit of being in the entertainment. So he also was on stage doing off-Broadway shows with no other than Melba Moore. Remember, we talked about how much Broadway Melba did. He did that with her. He also was in the $6 Million Man, All in the Family. He was in so many different sitcoms. You're talking about the Mod Squad. You're talking about Rockford Files, The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, MacGyver. He was that guy back in the day, especially when it came to, little roles on the side. But in, what was it, 1992, he passed in his home of Sherman Oaks from colon cancer. What happened is Cleavon Little has a scholarship that provides assistance to minority students. It was created by the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and he pretty much is giving out scholarships to minorities. So that's a good thing that he did leave that behind. But like I said, he's been in so many different movies. I just wanted to give him his props, and also being in theater, doing Pearly all over town, and I Am Not a Rappaport. When we talk about true acting and being a true thespian, we got to talk about Cleavon Little. That's right. So that's what it is for today. And I'm sure we're going to get some extra information from our good buddy Kamal. All right. Now let's get it right here on the Remix Morning Show. All right.
Unfortunately, I came up empty. I was not pleased.
I totally hated Blazing Saddles. That's one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Saddles was one of the worst films.
Yes, I hated Blazing Saddles.
Why?
And Mel Brooks. I mean, I thought that shit was whack. That and Brother from Another Planet. You know what I'm saying? Those are two of the worst films made. Thank you. Done.
Damn.
Blazing Saddles was funny. And imagine if Richard Pryor was in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, and I love Richard, but
funnier.
Yeah, but Cleavon Little, Mel Brooks, I mean, trash. Trash.
No.
Garbage.
No.
Garbage.
Got some bird disagreements here on that one.
No.
Come on though, but the History of America joint to me was funny though. The one thing I remember was when Mel Brooks comes down as Moses and he says, "I have here the 20," and then he drops one of the tablets, the 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments.
Didn't he also do Spaceballs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mel Brooks is a
very right, man.
He was good. He's good.
Right.
He was good.
Probably
Yeah,
white Republican.
I mean, overrated.
Was
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, probably overrated.
Probably was.
definitely overrated relative to how funny his shit actually was compared to how funny main society makes it out to be. But was Cleavon Little? I feel like I can see him in an Uptown Saturday Night or something along those lines. Doctor, why can I see Cleavon Little like in some
Cotton Goes to Harlem? Probably.
In the Walton.
The
Waltons.
Why are you bringing the Waltons up?
Where you
these
from,
non-sequiturs. The
dude said the Waltons.
How many black people do they have to choose from?
Wait, I mean, but how do you go from Cotton Comes to Harlem to the Waltons?
A paycheck. That's how you go there.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not talking about him.
I'm
just saying that choice that my man just made. Like,
I mean,
he's like, y'all offer me a paycheck.
I hated the Waltons too. Mary Ingalls,
never watched
all the damn Ingalls.
Never even saw the Wall. I've never seen an episode.
I had to watch it with my uncle.
But on the other hand, Little House on the Prairie, I did watch.
Oh, that's right. I was confused. I just confused the two of them. I'm thinking Little House on the Prairie. My bad.
Oh, I did see Little House on the Prairie. Yeah.
All black people watch Little House on the Prairie. I don't know why everybody liked Little House on the Prairie.
What was the cat with the little mole on his jaw? What's his name? You know what I'm talking about? Ear Doctor Walton.
Nah. The guy that died. Stairway to Heaven.
The little brother, the brother one.
Yeah,
it's Highway to Heaven.
You talking about Michael Landon, or you talking about
Highway to Heaven?
Little House on Prairie. Y'all lumping all the white shows together.
No, but
they all look the same to me.
What's funny is that even in my household, Little House on the Prairie was basically banned for its whiteness. Like, I've never watched it. My mother was even like, "That's too white." She was like, "I'm not watching this redneck hillbilly nonsense."
It was the ultimate white show, but yet.
I'm just saying, I just think these are little funny things. So, and speaking of Richard Pryor, I'm gonna save this for one day for a members only. But I gotta have like a mixed chronicles where we talk about some of these fascinating contradictions, including my mother's interaction with Rain Pryor while she was on stage.
Nice.
I'm gonna save that for a members only.
I love these stories about your mother because I clearly see where you get it from, Jared. Like it's obvious where you get it from, because
and it was one,
and she was Brooklyn born and raised. So I mean, there's some of that in there too.
Read them down. Jared's mother was out here reading them down and rejecting aspects of her whiteness at the same time,
and embarrassing the hell out of her child. No question. It was
and there was one episode where your girl turned around and was like, "What you talking about, Willis?" Old boy from Different Strokes. Willis was in. He was also in Little House on the Prairie too. They had an episode when they was like, "How does it feel to be a nigga?"
Yeah, I remember that one.
Serious?
Yes.
Episode of what?
Little House on the Prairie.
Todd Bridges.
Oh yeah. I remember Todd Bridges on there. Shout out to Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges had a bad life. You know what I'm saying? Got kind of rough on with that.
Everybody on that show, apparently, all them kids struggled.
Yeah.
Hey,
those are the Different Strokes.
Survived out here. Todd Bridges survived. The other ones didn't. Todd Bridges still out here holding it down in terms of being alive. He could easily not be alive compared to Gary Coleman and what was the other who played the sister?
Dana Plateau. Kamal's childhood crush.
Oh.
You seem to jump with that name pretty fast, B. So
hey, it rolled off your tongue. You was like, Dana Plateau.
You're like, Dana?
No, Different Strokes was the first time I realized I had a crush on Janet Jackson. Because before that, she had just been Penny to me. But when I saw her show up as old boy's girlfriend on Different Strokes, I was like,
Jeanette.
Hey,
okay.
Man. Shout out to my man Sundiata the Great in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to shout him out while he in there. I know you're talking about Different Strokes. I mean, Dukes of Hazzard, but you're still my man though. Anyway.
Oh, Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard was banned up in our joint because I remember someone gave me a car, one of those Dukes of Hazzard cars with the Confederate flag.
Oh yeah.
My pop smacked that shit so far across the room. I thought it was flying. I can still see that shit now. Like
I can't front. It was banned in my house, but Daisy got me. I can't front. Daisy had me sneaking.
Oh, hilarious. No, like for those of us who were actual kids, I mean, like little kids when Dukes of Hazzard was out. I mean, for Kalonji, for you to say to your dad, smack the car out of somebody's hand. I wonder how my parents allowed it. Like, how did they allow Dukes of Hazzard fandom from their little black girl in the 80s? Because I mean, to this day, if you play that Waylon Jennings, just the good old boys, never meaning no harm, I'm gonna turn up because that shit thumps. But it's why did my parents allow? How could they allow that?
Because there was a time period where folks were not reacting to the Confederate flag like that, right?
Because I think the thing is too,
dominating it.
Yeah, I think the thing was growing up north and not being exposed to certain things. You know what I mean? Because we gotta. I mean, if we keep it funky. Back in the day, there wasn't too much, information in regards to the way things are now. You know what I mean? It's like certain shit we didn't get. I mean, if you looked in an encyclopedia back in the day, you might have saw a paragraph or less of Malcolm X. It might have been like so damn small, such a snippet, or the Black Panther Party. It's like, they really, if you found anything, it was so small that you really didn't even understand what was what. But this propaganda.
As I also like to remind my own children whenever they start complaining about something, is that the reality is that this world and this country has had like a slow fade into starting to even care about children at all. And I argue that they didn't even start caring about kids at all till like really the 1990s. It just started to kick in a little bit. So they were like, this whole thing of, anyway. So that's why I was like
standing here confused. Like, what do you mean? How is it all the children are getting all this attention to the needs and to the concerns, and all of a sudden people listen to children now? It's like, what is this? What is this new?
What is
this new interaction? Seatbelts. What?
Knee pads, helmets.
What you mean I can't go in the store and buy cigarettes from my uncle? What? I'm 9. I was like,
had us out here watching Dukes of Hazzard, and just had us come home when the lights come on outside.
Alf and Dallas and whatnot.
Alf at least had better politics than the A-Team and Dukes of Hazzard, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
at least
I ain't gonna front. I did like B.A. Baracus. I like Mr. T. You know what I'm saying? On the A-Team.
See, and look at how much. Just to prove my point. Look at how much they care about children now. As Kamal's caring for his own.
Oh,
JD Vance wants to ban pornography to save families. See,
that's nice.
2022, y'all.
Yeah, it sounds
freedom
good,
abounds.
Yeah, let's follow this story in about a year and a half. Let's see what JD Vance has been doing with his time. You know what I'm saying?
The Ohio State Senate candidate told a Catholic magazine in 2021 that porn should be restricted to help an isolated generation thrive. See, they care about us.
Who in the hell is JD Vance?
He's trying to get elected to. He is the Republican Senate candidate from
Pennsylvania?
Ohio.
Okay.
Ohio. I think that he says that the combination of porn, and abortion have basically created a lonely, isolated generation. See, between watching all those porn videos and killing off all those unborn children, you've left an isolated, abandoned. Look at Kamal left the screen entirely.
Well, I wonder if because he had his child right here. Here go Jared. JD Vance wants to ban porn.
Well, I mean, it's not showing any of them. It's just the word. It's not showing images or screen. Maybe. It's not like here's an example of what I'm trying to ban.
like Rick James.
Kamal was not ready to have that conversation this morning, Jared.
Not bad.
As I was not. Thank you, Tim.
You know, it's crazy though when you talk about. When you talk about this guy talking about banning something, I mean, this is the same state
he wants to ban it
where they murdered Tamir Rice. This is the same state where in Lima, Ohio, they shot the 1-year-old baby. The same state where they killed John, what's his name, up in the Walmart. John Crawford. Yeah, I mean, and forgive me for not remembering all these names because you know it's. Man, we're talking about over 1,200 people murdered by police every year. So thanks JD, whatever your name is.
But you got to remember, as we continue to remind folks and point out that the most of these folks only care about the child before birth. Once you are here, you know, it's you know, except for the adult films that. Once you're here, we're going to stop you from watching.
I mean, well, they don't even care about you before you're born.
Education, but you know.
I mean, knock it off. You really want to see these young white boys go out and shoot up some shit? Ban porn off the internet, my guy. Okay, wow. because a lot of them, that's the only, feline. I'm gonna infer because I know there's children around, but you know, that's the only pink things they ever see, right? And so banning porn, you want to send these incels off the deep end. They're going to be shooting up everything. When I say everything, I mean everything.
But keep it real.
If they do that, there's going to be World War III. That's the only way the Republicans will really lose. That's these fake bans aren't real bans. You know, it's just for their religious right. Who's also over there watching it when they get a chance too. So
exactly,
it's all for public consumption.
He like we need to ban. We need to ban together. You know, forgot what he talking about. Listen, America is built off of drugs, sex, and violence. You know what I mean? So them talking about banning that's like as crazy as them talking about banning guns in America. I mean, it's not ever going to happen.
You said, what did you say yesterday on Riot Starter? In that when you said, or was it? I forgot when you said it. But this country's belief in God is guns, oil, and drugs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gun, oil, and drugs. That's all. That's what God means to them. You know what I'm saying? And we get it confused and talking about, well, it's a religious war. It's not a religious war. It's about domination. You know what I'm saying? But to Kim's point, or was it Jared? I'm sorry, that was talking about they only care about. I think it was Jared. Care about the
all of us have made it. Yeah.
Child before birth or whatever. We know that's not true. We have this situation over in where's that with the pregnant black woman that was shot?
Yeah,
Kansas City. That happened in Kansas City. Oh my God.
Good point.
Yeah. Let's go to that. I think that's,
I got you.
You have it?
Yeah, I got you. That's a good point. So I spoke too soon. They don't even necessarily want to get us here.
No doubt. I mean, they care not.
Oh boy. Is this showing up?
Yes, it's showing up.
There we go. Pregnant black woman shot 5 times by Missouri police. Where's the part where she was threatening them and they were scared?
Well, they didn't even have that.
Can we get some of the details? Because I know nothing about this. So can we?
Kansas City police shot and injured a pregnant black woman during a traffic stop. The woman and the man with her suspected of carjacking. Per the Kansas City Star, witnesses caught the incident on video and claimed the woman was shot 5 times as she tried to run away. Witness Shindanja said she saw the incident happen Friday while she was on her way to get ice cream with her kids. Per her account, she heard the officers yelling at the woman and the man to get out of the vehicle. Missouri State Highway Patrol said the car matched the description of a stolen one located at the Family Dollar. Shidanja said the man ran off and officers followed him while the woman exited the car with her hands up. The officer told her to get on the ground, which she refused, explaining that she was pregnant. The officers approached her with guns drawn. After she took a few steps away, they opened fire 5 times. She did not pull out a weapon on them. She did not even have a stick in her hand, said Shidanja. More from the Kansas City Star. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No. And so now their excuse, this lame version of a excuse would be that they said that they don't know if she had a gun on her, but they did find a firearm nearby.
Hold on, guys. Wait, can I get a couple more details? What's her name? What's her age? What's the status of the person whom she was with? Does the article provide any of those details? I think someone in the chat said her name was Leona Hale. Is that right?
I didn't see her name in this particular article.
Yeah, we haven't. It hasn't said it. It does not give her name in this. It just says the woman suffered serious injuries and was taken to the hospital. Reports,
but I think it is Leona Hale.
Stable condition.
I did see somewhere else. Yeah. So, I mean, regardless, even if they did steal the car, and there's no one's been charged for stealing the car. Number one, they said it looked like a car that was carjacked. It fit the description of a car that was carjacked. But even if they did steal the damn car, the woman said she was pregnant. She put her hands up, and you're trying to force her to the ground. Okay. Then you shoot her 5 times, and she doesn't have a weapon. I'm confused about that part. I don't care if they robbed a bank, took a car, and stepped on someone's foot on the way out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to shoot her 5 times because of the fact that you said that she didn't stop and she didn't lay on the ground, and she was backing up, so she wasn't even moving towards the officer. She actually took a few steps back, and they opened fire on her. So I don't know, man.
The story says it's unclear. They say, quote, it's unclear whether she had a weapon, but a handgun was found nearby where she was shot. That's
propaganda all day. Fuck your unclear. Either she had it or she didn't fucking have it. So the answer is she didn't have it. Just real quick, y'all. Leona Hale, 26 years old, is still recovering. She is not dead. She is shot. But she is in critical condition according to Mother Jones, with a collapsed lung. After suffering those gunshot wounds from the cop who shot her. So I'm sorry, because I wasn't clear whether or not she survived this. So she is alive.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's the blessing, the miracle. But it's insanity.
The claim of carjacking is sounds very similar to the one we just did. We just covered the story of Donnell Rochester and spoke with his mother the other day. In Baltimore, who they said the same thing, and this high school student, young man, they said, well, he carjacked, so therefore, even without a weapon, shooting him is somehow justified. So here they're saying, hey, and look, again, after, one thing I will say, after watching and being reminded of what was done in by the Baltimore police by this We Own This City series, they show cops calling friends of theirs who weren't even there to show up and drop a gun on the scene when they needed one.
That's how it is.
So, I mean, but the point is, as Kim points out, honestly, I feel like even if she was armed, she
would have a right to be armed in Missouri. She would have a right to be armed in Missouri.
I mean, but if she has her arms raised, armed or not, you see her in a she's submitting. You know what I'm saying? She's complying, but you still shoot her 5 times. I mean, that is like, I mean, it's woo. I mean, we're dealing with a well, I mean, anyway, we already know.
And this story I didn't see it, but this story doesn't even confirm whether they confirmed that there was a stolen car. Were they in possession of a stolen car?
That's the thing. They said it fit the description. So therefore, we know that it wasn't stolen because the way they roll, they would have said that they actually carjacked
it was stolen. That's right.
Yeah,
it fit the description. Why? Because it was black and had 4 wheels.
Right. Now
that's it. Black folks were driving it.
Black people in a car. That's the description. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. And some folks would say like, well, if you're not guilty, why run? Apparently, you haven't had too many interactions with the police.
That's a ridiculous.
They had billboards out here in Atlanta. That what's that? The Civilian Review Board had put up. They spent $30,000 a few years back with signs that said billboards that said don't run. I mean, it's like it was the most ridiculous shit. So we had this little debate, and well, it wasn't even a debate. I guess it turned into it. Really wasn't a debate. The dude got crushed. The president of the Civilian Review Board, Daruba, myself, and a few other folks had this discussion. And I mean, dude was like, I mean, he couldn't answer nothing. I'm talking about when you say a toothless tiger, these Civilian Review Boards are trash, totally trash. And it's like, man, we have no solutions. Everything's like, blame the victim, don't run, hands up, don't shoot. I mean, all this other craziness, and you still get shot, man. So I don't know.
Well, the other, and I mean this sarcastically or satirically, but if she loses the baby, I bet you there's a possibility that they try to charge her with having an illegal abortion because she forced the cops to shoot her. That's the world we live in, right? So
You're right. Something
that's
crazy.
What I'm saying. Speaking of, that's why I said when I said earlier. Speaking of abortion, because of the fact that they will push it on you and they will maneuver. Their shit is like it moves in whatever direction it needs to. I mean, it's like amazing. We're getting a lot of spam in the chat. I don't know who this.
That means that we are popping.
We popping. That's what it is.
I think that's what that means. When the spam bots find us, that means we're doing the right thing out here.
All right, I'm getting my Matumbo on. I got it. I'm
okay. I blocked him several times, but yeah.
Okay,
This is nuts. I mean, the piece I'm reading about. I'm looking at Mother Jones here, and listen to this. It says Hale went to the hospital with serious injuries, but was in stable condition as of Friday night, according to Bell. According to the Kansas City Defender, she has a broken arm, a collapsed lung, and bullets lodged in her body. Bell cast doubt. I think Bell is a police spokesperson. Bell cast doubt as to whether or not Hale was pregnant, but said the agency has not been able to verify one way or the other because of privacy laws that prevent the hospital from releasing the information about her health. Quote, there is a rumor she's pregnant. We understand that, Bell told me. We believe that she's not pregnant.
How do you believe that? What the hell you got what the fuck?
So what does that mean?
Tell you that, motherfucker? I mean, like,
so I get to shoot her because I don't think she's pregnant
5 times.
Yeah.
I
mean,
yeah. She wasn't pregnant. I just had to shoot her 5 times for lying. I mean, like, get the hell out of here. That's crazy.
And again, I know it's not the exact same police officers, obviously, but I can't help but keep coming back to, so if it's a white boy shooting up a whole planet, he can survive. If it's someone shooting up a whole school, you don't move. But if it's a pregnant woman with her hands up, who you say is in a car that looks like a car that was stolen, it's okay. Now you can get all activated and get all your rounds off. yeah, that's particularly I don't know. For some reason, that's particularly annoying me more than usual. I don't know.
Come on. You already know. Just for clarity, Sergeant Andrew Bell is of the Missouri Highway Patrol, and that is who this reporter from Mother Jones spoke to. So Bell from the Missouri Highway Patrol says that we don't believe that she's pregnant.
I mean, yeah, okay, good.
Well, now she might not be. I mean, damn, you shot her all up. I mean, so is that so now what? I mean,
there might be other details to get, but the basic line of this is shooting somebody 5 times, pregnant or not, is just not justified. So
no, it isn't. Put your hands up.
So they're saying because of the HIPAA laws, they can't determine whether or not she's pregnant or not. I mean, like, come on, man. I'm sure that many of us wish his mother wasn't pregnant.
Come on. Say that. Jesus.
Look, the only time you safe and maybe justifiable putting your hands up is when the ear doctor tells you to. So, ear doctor, come on back.
I'm not sure if that's safe.
That's your master.
No, that's the best one.
Yeah, I didn't know where that was going, but that was good. Yeah.
One ever done.
That was really good. Yeah.
That's the best.
That shit was corny, y'all.
Wow, here's a hater over there.
You just doing hateration today, ain't you?
Today?
Shout out to my riot stunners out there.
Dude said he fired him.
I'm alone in here, guys. It's just me alone. It's hard out here.
Fuck Mel.
Bad guy.
Got in the chat
Cleavon
room TJ. I'm like, God.
And fuck Jared Segway.
Riot startup. Black out. Anyway, it ain't personal, man. It ain't safe no more. Anyway,
take a quick break from the hateration, and we go right back on the Remix Morning Show.
Yeah.
The remix.
Oh my goodness, that face. But yo, welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I wanted to do an artist spotlight real quick on a brother that's known for his artwork, but also has some music. He goes by the name of Fahamu Piku. That's right. So he has a song right here that's called All That Glitters Ain't Golds. So I want y'all to check this out and tell me what y'all think. I'm gonna give you a piece of it because the song is like almost 6 minutes long. Well, let's get to some of it and tell me what y'all think on this one.
This is the way that the younger people feel, and so we saying it, and a lot of younger people have these older idols to look up to, and these idols look soft. You know what I'm saying?
Whistling on the niggas. Yeah. Nah. When it comes to airtime, they ain't got no spare time. Unless you got a pretty penny or a fair dime. But we here, we ain't leaving. Me and you don't even do it for the same reasons. It's like dancing for the rain season. It's like acid in your brain reaching. It's a glance at what you ain't seeing. Turn to your local station and put love in the music, something we can play again. It ain't about a salary, it's all about reality. But first, we need a little more clarity. It seems all we get is a parody. We are gathered here to challenge the disparity. I came together with my ATL family to drop gems on what's really happening. We get caught up in the swag and the trappings. We buy the products without examining. Find truth in the lies niggas rapping. We get enticed by the bright and the shiny things. Gotta see the cost is our souls. And all that glitters ain't golds. The formulators perform for greater the dawn of the paces. Scared crow, scared flow for corn acres. We born takers in the 100-fold, run your goals and call it 1-0. Back pass, stun and roll. The Guardians build and stand in the half half moon. You'll get hit with the 13th staff. So Ethiopian jewels shine, the rings really clean. The threat count, comedics in the least fatigue. I try to need what I want, even want what I need. Align my goals and missions and cherish my seeds. This transmission is automatic, not built for speed. Just luxury in a G-ride, rotisserie. Minus the gimmicky, finicky, fake fuck shit, slow roll show host. I'm so not to be fucked with.
Show off, you know boss, slow soft, you're so soft. A symptom like a cold cough, sickening to see, crippling to see, blinding with your material items, deciding it's your lane that they're riding in. Early death at the end of that, they're early in defending traps. Pitfalls they rendered lacking the essential self-hope. So I pick up a pencil and help folks. So what your motive is, notice this, declarations to correct the nation, no hesitation.
Time the world cold like a shoulder, attitude polar, but my latitude more solar. Can't ignore it like cavities in your molar. The apprentice think he got more pull than the dentist. More jewels than Linux, but niggas always want a pop tag. Try to prove to the next man that he got swag. Brothers lost though, can't find shit. And the climate reminds him that it's not that.
I will give y'all some more, but y'all got to go check that video out. All this glitters ain't goals. It got a bunch of rappers on there spitting that heat. So check that brother out. You might have seen his artwork on Blackest. That's right. As soon as they walk in the door, his artwork is hanging on the wall. Peace to that brother. Let's get back to the Remix Morning Show.
Word up.
Yeah.
It's a dope joint. Shout out to Fahamu Piku. Shout out to Yamin Somali. Shout out to Ekandayo, Mike Flo. Boog Brown was about to come on, but he got to cut her off. But anyway.
And you got to go check it out. It even got the sister from last week that's connected with the Buffalo sister Divine, I believe, that was on there.
No doubt. Matter of fact, pretty much all of those folks have been on Renegade Culture with the exception of Fahamu. But yeah. And some of them on Rafa Siafu. You know what I mean? So definitely shout out to the whole crew on there.
All right.
Good
so
stuff,
that's your artist spotlight for the day. I catch y'all. Peace.
Let's go.
All right.
What's up, party people?
Got a couple more stories to get to, unless you got something pressing you all wanted to bring up.
Did we hit 250? Do we hit 250?
We were over 260 at one point.
So is your doctor still being stingy about the mix, or
I don't know. I thought he said he was pushing that up to 300 though. He was trying to get, I don't know if that, I'm not sure where we are with that. So I would just encourage people to tell their friends to jump in the live stream just to make it safe.
Is that a unilateral decision that Ear Doctor makes all by himself? Like, is this not a consensus? Is this not a collective? Do we not agree in unison about what's the standard for the mix at the end of the remix?
You know, I feel like he made a unilateral decision. I don't feel like I was invited to contribute to that, but I feel like, as someone said, because he wasn't here yesterday, he owes us a mix anyway. But you know,
thank you, someone got it right. Yeah,
someone got it right. You know,
shout out Garrett Harris in the building.
Yay, come through, Garrett.
Yes. But I you know, there's no consensus around here. Now the Ear Doctor, what you talking about? He like, we're gonna do what the hell we want to do around this motherfucker. That's how we do PPM. Anyway, I'm just talking jazz, man. Appreciate you all checking in with this Remix Morning Show, Black Power Media. Do us a favor and share the platform with your people, because we have a lot of dope stuff on deck, and we have a lot of dope stuff that's coming up. And we appreciate you on the Rilla.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check out the site.
Absolutely.
Yes. Get that merch, blackpowermedia.org. Check out the merch, blackpowermedia.org. You know what I'm saying? We got mugs and t-shirts and hoodies and bags and people.
In fact, I was hoping it would be here by today, but my Remix Morning Show bag is on its way too. I can't wait to
get
the
bag.
Yeah, with the Black Power media on top. That joint is fire right there. I can't wait to get that joint.
Where you gonna carry that bag, Jared? I'm curious.
Wherever I go. I'm a bag carrier.
No, that's
like
right,
I'm a
Jared.
bag. I'm a bag carrier. So like I got different bag. I got my day bag. You know what I mean?
Jared got Merces on Merces.
I got my go to work bag. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Bring your lunch bag.
And then you gotta have the lockable bag that requires a warrant to open if locked.
That's
so
a tree bag.
I got one of them as well. So I'm a bag. I'm a bag. I don't like stuff in my pockets. You know, I like to. I'm a bag guy. I'm a bag guy. I keep a bag. So I'm gonna have my new bag, my RemiX morning show bag. My rock that joint.
Yeah, go ahead, Jared.
Yes, indeed. So. Like I was saying, we've got a couple other stories to get to in the last 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes or so, or less if we got to make room for the ear doctor, which I think we should have to, because we've already made clear it's owed. Its balance is due out this moment.
Collection. Come to collect on the ear doctor. Give it up. Turn out your pockets. Cut them turntables on. Let's go.
Exactly, especially we're going to need it because you got a couple more references to this horror show out in Texas. And I haven't gotten a chance to get too much into this, but the headline is Uvalde Police School District no longer cooperating with Texas probe of shooting.
What the fuck does that even mean, yo?
It doesn't sound good, but let's see. The Uvalde Police Department and Uvalde Independent School District police force are no longer cooperating with the Texas Department of Public Safety's investigation into the massacre at Robb Elementary School and the state's review of the law enforcement response, multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News. The Uvalde police chief and spokesperson for the Uvalde Independent School District did not immediately respond to requests for comments. According to sources, the decision to stop cooperating occurred soon after the director of DPS, Colonel Stephen McGraw, held a news conference Friday during which he said the delayed police entry into the classroom was, quote, the wrong decision and contrary to protocol. So, yeah. That's what it as folks continue to contact Kalanji while he on the show.
For the
important
police,
man that he is.
I mean, for one, this is what happens when the police are tasked to investigate themselves. Yes, like this is eerily familiar of what Marilyn Mosby's office encountered when trying to prosecute officers in response to Freddie Gray. She was sending out subpoenas and demands for evidence, and them niggas was like, we didn't even see them shits. Like, what? We don't even know what you're talking about. Like, and oh man, this is what happens when police investigate themselves, man. The police do not cooperate, and I am concerned about what the outcome of this is going to be, because I can't see Texas DPS really putting the screws to Uvalde police. Like, I don't know what the consequences are for them not to cooperate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another reason why we need community control of public safety, because we need to run the police. But the thing is, it seems like a wish in a wishing well. Seems like one of those coins you throw in the water, and like, I wish that the police would just dismantle and we can restructure and control public safety, but we know that's not going to happen anytime soon, because then that way it would it would actually feel like a democracy, but that's not going to happen. So anyway, I'm not surprised though. I mean, they're embarrassed and they don't have enough lies to back the lies that they already told. So it's like, look, we have to huddle up for a while, and we don't have to say anything.
I'm just waiting for the call that says, so they acted outside of protocol, so we need many more millions of dollars of funding for training.
It's already happened. Greg Abbott, the Texas governor, has already called for that. Schools need to be hardened. Hardened is the phrase that they're using. Schools need to be hardened. So they are already in the discussions of trying to ramp up hundreds of millions of more dollars for so-called school security. We need more armed school resource officers. What happened in Uvalde can never happen again. Well, it's gonna happen because the police don't keep us safe. And this tragedy was a horrific example of that. From the school resource officer to the armed response outside, to the fact that there were 21 dead bodies inside of that elementary school when everything was said and done. 22, I guess, if you include the shooter.
Yeah,
so the police couldn't save nobody's life. They couldn't save nobody's life.
My daughter lives about an hour away from there in Del Rio, her and my grands. And it is, it's, I mean, just it being that close. First of all, I certainly feel for the families and the victims, because I mean, it's just like, how do you, for a lack of better words, allow this to happen? You know what I mean? And it's insanity at its finest. But the crazy thing about it, we look at all of these different schools in the inner city with these metal detectors. I mean, we had metal detectors so long, it's just like crazy. You have to arrive at school damn near an hour or 45 minutes ahead of time just to go through these metal detectors. But yet you have this cat just roll up in there and blast these babies, man. I mean, this is crazy. This is insanity, man.
I expect for the Uvalde Police Department to burn down really any day now. I really do. I think that these parents are so distraught and grief stricken. And once all the funerals tragically conclude, I think the people are going to revolt down there, at least in the sense of they're going to have a reimagining and certainly a redistribution of the city's resources. 40% of the Uvalde city budget goes towards the police department. I can't see how that continues. Like I cannot envision a future in which the people of this town who have experienced this horrific thing continue to allow the status quo to go on. And I hope, like I said on my show, I hope they get some inspiration from our people up of Minneapolis and go burn that motherfucking police station to the fucking ground.
Yeah, they need to burn the system to the ground.
The whole system. My bad. I'm struck by the fact that I'm seeing my first white garbage collector in maybe my entire life in this area. To me, that's a sign of the true economic collapse. Is here?
Yo, hang up. That's 5-0.
Maybe. Maybe. Like maybe. But like straight up, it's the first ever in my life here, at least.
You sure
anyway,
he white?
So,
He's not just real life.
You might be right. Maybe he's or
Sean
maybe
King
he's
going
one of
through
me
your
running
trash.
around. I get misidentified from afar too. So maybe he, maybe he's gonna be mad and be like, "I'm mixed, bitch. I'm mixed."
Right? You see me out here in Columbia. What you think?
He gonna be like, Jared, I'm your brother.
Wow. I'm your brother. Anyway, no, my bad. So, but the one bit of pessimism that creeps in for me when I hear what both of you are saying is that this is where my concern over the struggled state of our political organized condition kicks in. So, in other words, yes, there are responses and changes needed after what we just seen and continue to see, but what form will those responses and changes take? Mm-hmm. So that's why, so how do we protect kids at school? Well, let's hire more private security forces and let's train the police more along these same tactical lines and all this other kind of stuff. Because we're not sufficiently organized enough, it just feels like too much of the, too many of the ignoble actors get like reinscribed or reaffirmed in their authority. Yeah. But anyway, I hope both of you are right in terms of the direction people go in.
This is when we need groups like the Black Panther Party. This is when we need groups like the Revolutionary Action Movement. This is when we need groups like Deacons for Defense, when they can patrol the outside of the buildings. But unfortunately, just like the past, the people don't support. We talk about quote unquote defunding police. We talk about control and everything, but we don't support the workers. We don't support the fighters. It's like, I think community organizing and community patrol and control is the most disrespected position that you can have in this society. And that's from the people themselves. I'm not even talking about the state. But imagine if we actually supported the workers, we supported the fighters who are true to it, not the ones that we see rolling across your TV screen or with the blue checks and the millions of followers and all that type of stuff that do nothing. They do absolutely nothing. So I don't know, man. We'll what they say when the teacher's ready, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. So we'll learn one of these days.
Well, Kim, it looks like you got an example for us from South America. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. That's what I was just about to direct your attention to that. We need a tiny bit of inspiración. And even though my Spanish is not there, this clip, I think we'll be able to discern what my guys talk about. Plus, there are subtitles. So what we're about to see, shout out to Brains and Grenades on Twitter, because she put this across my timeline. And this is, who is my guy talking? I am not sure who this is talking. I don't think this is Mr. Maduro. I think this is another member of the Venezuelan gubernamiento. But the tweet says, Venezuela historically defeated this long list of recent U.S. intervention attempts. And this is, oh, Lord, it's in Spanish. Hold on. Let me try to get it together. Embajador representante permanente de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela ante la ONU. Historiador. I'm sorry, my Spanish is so terrible. But this is Samuel Moncada. And Samuel got some words for the people. Samuel said that Venezuela has defeated the U.S. in this way, and this way. Can we listen to Mr. Samuel?
Kim, I thought your Spanish was Portuguese.
Right.
Dos, el asesinato del presidente de la República, Nicolás Maduro. Tres, un ataque aéreo marítimo o por vía de tropas especiales por mar que llegan submarinas a los puertos petroleros venezolanos. 4. Un bloqueo total naval a Cuba y Venezuela. 5. La detención de barcos petroleros venezolanos y el robo de su petróleo. 6. Ataques con mercenarios de Estados Unidos desde Colombia. Ataque militar disfrazado de operación humanitaria, que era lo que tenían pensado el 23 de febrero. Operaciones encubiertas disfrazadas de operaciones antidroga, que fue cuando le pusieron 15 millones de dólares de recompensa por la captura de nuestro presidente. Sabotaje a la infraestructura vital con instalaciones eléctricas o refinerías. Financiamiento de bandas armadas en las capitales. Operaciones psicológicas y desinformación para dividir a la Fuerza Armada Bolivariana, llevarnos a la guerra civil y justificar así entonces, una vez que nos estemos matando nosotros dentro de Venezuela, una invasión salvadora de Estados Unidos, una invasión multinacional. Saqueo de los bienes de nuestra nación, bloqueo de las operaciones financieras y de comercio legal con otros países. No son confiables. No son confiables. Aprendamos de la historia. Firmemos lo que firmemos, pero con toda la desconfianza del mundo. No son confiables y preparémonos para lo peor. Estamos literalmente en la segunda guerra de independencia de Venezuela. Sí están los planes, están preparados, están siempre aceitándose, están viendo cómo se ajustan a las nuevas realidades. Esa agresión es permanente. Nunca antes en la historia de Venezuela habíamos tenido nosotros tales peligros. Nunca antes hemos estado tan cerca de una invasión.
Everything, yep. Cosign.
I love hearing that good speech.
Right. And I know we got some Spanish speakers in here with us with the remixes. So yes, Afro Latinos, stand up.
No son confiables. You can't trust them. Don't trust them. What the P say? Can they trust them?
But my man's ran it down. Uno.
Yeah, that was dope.
Those 15. It just went down the list.
And I like that Second War of Independence joint too.
Yeah.
That's hot right there. Right on.
Definitely need to add that link for folks to check out, for folks who missed it. Or you can go back and check out Rewind the Joint and you'll see.
Just rewind.
I can't post links in this chat for reasons. I'm not really sure why.
Well, I mean they can always rewind the this episode and watch it as well.
Oh yeah, but I'm sure people want to look at it for themselves. I just attempted to drop a link in there, so hopefully y'all see that. But nonca, come through.
So break down what he said, Kim, for folks who
I don't know what he said. I read the subtitles just like y'all. I read the subtitles. We're gonna have to go back and read them, Joyce, a little bit slower. But basically, what he's saying is that that Venezuela, especially based off the recent news that we heard that the Biden administration at least is attempting to lift some sanctions off Venezuela for the purposes of purchasing Venezuelan oil or getting Venezuelan oil back on the market. They tried to assassinate Maduro, didn't want to acknowledge Maduro as president, set up the blockade embargo. I don't know if it was a full-on embargo, but, with the sanctions and whatnot against Venezuela. And Venezuela's like, we will not be felled by suckers. U.S., Los Estados Unidos, la basura grande de la mundial, right? And I know my Spanish is so terrible. Please, y'all, don't mock me too bad. But anyway, everything he said, I was with the shits, Kalanji. Everything he said, I was with them shits. I was like, yep, I'm with that shit.
I was just looking out for the folks who can hear and can't see.
Correct. Yes, I cannot. I can't
visually impaired.
Yes.
And those who,
he went through that long history though. I mean, what I liked about what he was doing was telling people that they've tried to overthrow us. They try to steal our resources. We're in the second war of independence. I definitely love the part about the psychological warfare operations that he mentioned, the propaganda that they use. I don't think he mentioned him by name, but they tried to impose the Guaido character. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's been wild what and then you're going to turn around and be like, but we're going to lift some of this abuse so we can get some of that oil when we need it, because we started a war with somebody else in another part of the world. I mean, that's wild.
It's not wild, it's white.
It's white, it's colonial. Like they said, this is their backyard, right? It's like
it's very
Venezuela
white.
is just another part of the white backyard, And Kamal's favorite white man, one of his lines that Chomsky said that I liked is that when you are the singular imperial force, everywhere you put your boots is your legal territory. It's your place to do it. So he's, not that he was justifying it, but just, just like from their point of view, like, yeah, it's all like we want it. Give it here.
World's greatest rapists. They will take whatever resources, whatever place they can, and every now and then they might play it off like they actually like the folks who they're pillaging and robbing and extorting and so on and so forth. Man, these bastards, boy. Whew. I pray that I come back with Garvey in that world when he talked about, you know what I mean, when it's time to sweep things up. But don't mind me.
Anyway, so but I do hope we find inspiration from that, and I'm glad, Kim, that you brought that out, because it is good to see. As I know, when we read about the previous generations, when you can see other parts of the world stepping up and standing strong, it makes it easier to do so where you are. Mm-hmm. And in the face of all the sort of weak backs that are propped up in front of us here to speak on our behalf, it's kind of nice to see, be reminded of what legit anti-imperial response looks like. So speaking of which, because I know we're about to wrap up and we got a couple minutes, we're gonna leave room for ear doctors, the earned mix from the ear doctor. But speaking of getting the good words and the proper analysis, I do want to encourage people to go back throughout the entire platform, and by extension, Kim's as well, and double down on the content that we're all producing, and help. As Chuck used to say, that mental self-defensive fitness as you go out here in the world.
No doubt. And listen, tune in, go back and watch yesterday's Burn It Down with Kim Brown if you can, because I did a story about how in the Boston area there has been a rise in roofies being dropped in women's drinks at a lot of area bars and restaurants and venues in the Boston area. And the way that this information is being disseminated is through social media. And the traditional media, mainstream media, and the police are naturally late to this. But unfortunately, the advice given by law enforcement and mainstream media outlets is, ladies, travel with buddies. Make sure you're watching your drink. Make sure you're covering your drink. Buy some test strips to see if your drink has been tampered with. And yet there was no such advice to niggas out here roofing, putting drugs in people's drinks. How about you advise the men or whomever is out here doing that? Hey, maybe consider not drugging a stranger in a public space, because your intentions are bad. There's only one intention for roofies. It is the intent to rape. And for people, women who have had their drinks drugged but were not assaulted, some of them actually got into their vehicles and drove and had blackout episodes behind the wheel. And it was later discovered that they perhaps had traces of fentanyl or some other sort of drug like Rohypnol in their system. So this is literally endangering people's lives, endangering people's safety. And it needs to, the conversation needs to go beyond women need to look out for themselves. Ladies, you got to protect yourself. Where's the advice for the predators, for the aggressors, for the druggers of the drinks? There's no such advice. There's never any suggestion that men not be predators, right? It's always women, you got to protect yourself. It's never motherfuckers stop trying to rape people.
Allow me to give some advice for those particular men.
Please.
Kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's
excellent advice.
Go ahead and take yourself out, because you are a parasite and you are a piece of shit. So go ahead and bump your head up against a brick wall and fall off of it. Yes. Anyway, so definitely check out that episode of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. And when you finish, come through Riot Starter TV. I think Daruba and Ajamu did a fabulous, powerful job yesterday talking about gun control. Daruba went a little extra at the end, which is great. You know what I'm saying? He dropped a little tidbits on the BLA. You know what I mean? And also they gave a little update on the whole Ukraine-Russia conundrum. So definitely check it out when you get a chance.
I would like to check that out, because the shit don't seem to be going the way that the American press keeps reporting it. They keep saying, "Oh, Russia's on the ropes. Russia this, Russia that." Russia seem to be whooping some ass out here. I mean, listen, so what? Make sense.
Russia's on the ropes like Ali was with George Foreman. Right. They're playing rope-a-dope style. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So believe that. Believe what you wanna.
Yeah, and it was some interesting. Anyway, I will check out the episode of Riot Starter. I cannot wait until Jacqueline joins us. I think she said she'll be back with us next week. But I think France and Germany is having some second thoughts about this whole situation, because some of their bread or wheat disbursements, I suppose, coming out of Ukraine, their wheat shipments are being held up in France and Germany. Is like, guys, maybe we should think about this, because this is our food. We didn't realize that our food was going to get fucked up in all of this. Maybe we should think about doing something different. But of course, Joe Biden's not having any of that, so we'll see.
Heard up.
All right, well, listen, good people, another great job today, this morning. Shout out to all the folks who've helped put the show together, including those in the chat. And we've earned the right to get this damn is Kim Riot Starter. Well, there was supposed to be that collabo. There was supposed to be the Burn It Down Riot Starter collabo, but I'm just putting that back out there. But we've earned a mix, so I don't want to continue to hold us off from that.
Yes.
So he's back on the block.
Get him.
Let's go.
Get him in here. Let's go.
Yeah, welcome out.
Shout out to everybody. Thanks again. For the show.
Power.
Let's get it, y'all.
Look inside of the mind and see. Original heads check 1, 2, 3. Light them up. Hawaiian says bless my mind. Now I kick the rhyme for the nickel line. Take a sip of wine. Today you make a nigga late. Nigga, I stay to the sunset. Thinking for my nigga. I represent the original head. Killing the original dead. Oh yeah, it's my nigga.
Once again, welcome out. This is Black Power Media Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let's give y'all some of that boot camp.
Listen. Afghanistan, bombed out, depleted, no weeded, needed in the Ativan. Run up on the rapper when rapping, that's when the slap a fan. Bone crunching Mickey, the gypsy needed in the caravan. Half man, half amazing Mandela. You know the flow is so hard, ever. Drop down, is the label, but fuck a record deal. Broke after I spoke in the motherfucking sucker bill.
Riding down the AVE in the black AMG. Mac by my lap, AMD. The fact that they can't see me dipping through the traffic, I'm relaxing, smoking black with ease. Now my cell phone ringing is rap easy. Let me see, yeah, it's just chick I just met. It won't let me breathe. Fuck that, I'm on to my movement. Cause when the money stop to get dumbfounded and do this. Who this nigga next to me? Like to give checks to me. Niggas respect me. Let the niggas step to me. And I'll handle my business. And call up my team and they'll handle their business.
Black Power Media, y'all. This is the Remix Morning Show. This is how we do it right here. We check y'all out in the morning, 8 a.m.
Yo, what? It's the left jab that have you fucked up like a crystal meth lab. Nigga risk the right cross that'll rattle your brain and drain your life force.
And we out of here. Peace.
OGC.
Carol me with the white sauce. I spit pyro heat on my life, boss.